as we watch daily our elected leaders trying to take guns away from law-abiding citizens like myself and yourself, I think it's very important we talk about how the criminals are actually getting their guns. Because on average, there's over 500,000 illegal guns being funneled through the U.S. illegal gun pipeline, referred to as the iron pipeline. And it's important we begin to talk about, well, okay, so if you're wanting to take my guns, because the effort is going towards taking law-abiding citizens' guns, yet here's how criminals are being supplied firearms, 500,000 a year on average, through the iron pipeline. Now, ultimately what the iron pipeline is it's I-95 is what they're referring to, the highway. I-95, Interstate I-95, which is where most of these guns are being filtered across, coming from only 10 states. 10 states in the U.S. are filtering 500,000 plus guns to places that have high levels of anti-Second Amendment laws, like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, LA. Places like that is where they're going, because the criminals are going to access guns. 500,000 a year is how many they're going to access, and that's only through this iron pipeline. And by all means, this is not the only way to get guns from the criminals, but it is the biggest way, supplying 500,000 guns every year to places where they're taking your guns away from you. Now, the states that these are coming from, according to the ATF, through this iron pipeline, what we're looking at is Arizona, California. California surprises me a little bit. Georgia, Florida, Indianapolis, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Virginia. 10 states supplying 500,000 guns to criminals every year. Every year. But we don't talk about this in the media. We don't talk about this. I guarantee they're not talking about it on Capitol Hill. They're definitely not talking about it at your state. Representatives aren't talking about it either. This iron pipeline, because if they took all the energy and money and resources that went from taking my guns and put it towards trying to stop this iron pipeline, I think this whole problem wouldn't go away, but it would be diminished greatly. Greatly. It's very important we begin to look at how the criminals are getting their guns, because we're not talking about that. We're only talking about how I get my guns and how you could take my guns away. That's the only conversation we're having. It's extremely important we shift it from that to, well, how are the criminals getting their guns? Those are the only guns that should be taken away, and nobody's trying to take those away. They're only trying to take my guns away. And that doesn't make any sense, especially when they're getting 500,000 guns a year. And by the way, we're not talking, if you look at the criminal element of this country, it's a very small percentage of the population of the country. So when you have a very small percentage of the population of the country getting at least 500,000 guns a year, we've got some big problems that we're not talking about. And the iron pipeline should be the biggest target by the ATF and the FBI and the thinking heads in Washington, D.C., and not me. You're wasting your time focusing on me. Most of my guns have dust on them. This is foolish. Focus on the iron pipeline. That's where we have to turn our attention to. So any thoughts or insight on that at all, definitely put that below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel to Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.